Hello and welcome to our channel. In today's video, we want to talk to you about the magical town of Wrocław in Poland.
During our 3-month stay in Krakow, Poland, we decided to take a side trip to Wrocław. And getting there was really easy. We just took a train from the Krakow main station directly to Wrocław with a few stops in between. It was about a 3-hour train trip, and the total cost for both of us was 176 Polish zloty, which comes out to about $46, and that was for both of us round trip on the train. And we just booked directly through the PKP Intercity app. It made it really easy. They give you a QR code and you just show that to the attendants on the train. We decided to take this trip for multiple reasons. Selfish reason, I wanted to go to a car show. There's a really big European car show there called Ultrace. Now this was at the end of June when we visited. And also, it's a very, very beautiful city. We watched multiple YouTube videos on Wrocław, and we really wanted to see all the history and the beauty the city had to offer.
It was not hard to convince us to visit this city.
No, not at all.
The rivers and the bridges, and of course, the gnomes. Going around, walking around this city, just spotting the gnomes, you get so excited. I mean, adults, children, everybody loves this. And it is such a cool thing about this town to be able to find the gnomes all over the city.
We felt like kids because we were looking for the gnomes and we wanted to get our own photos of them, and we would have to wait for little kids that were getting photos of them. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
One of the beautiful things about this town is their old town, their main square. What a beautiful place to be. It's just beautiful buildings. You just walk around. Now, about half of this area was destroyed during World War II, so it was rebuilt, and boy, did they do a great job. It's just gorgeous. I mean, you can just take so many pictures, and it's just great to be there. And you can sit on the benches, people watch. And there's gnomes in that area too, so if you walk around, you'll be able to spot some gnomes.
And if you want to get a really beautiful aerial view of the Old Town Square, near Old Town there's a church called St. Elizabeth's Church. And you can climb the tower for 15 Polish zloty. It's about 300 stairs to get to the top. It's quite the climb, but it's worth it. The views at the top are stunning. It's so beautiful from up there, and you can see the entire Old Town and all around the city, the rivers.
This type of city is one of those that you want to get up. You want to go up and see some of these views from the top. It is just beautiful.
Yeah.
All around too. Like there's so many beautiful things to see. The buildings, the people. It's really, really cool to get up there. There's a second church also that you also pay. I think it's also 15 zloty to get up there. And it's the Cathedral of St. Mary Magdalene.
Yes.
It's about 247 steps, so a little bit less than the other one, but the same thing. You get beautiful views. Now, in this church, you get the Witch's Bridge. Yeah. So it connects two of the towers of the church, and there's a whole story behind that, but still, beautiful views of the city here. You also get a nice little surprise gnome in between in the bridge, but also great to get up there and take some views.
That one has great views. It's not in the Old Town Square, but closer to the market hall. But that's another beautiful one where you should go to the top and see that.
And get some views,
yeah,
exactly.
Definitely.
Another thing too, if you continue to walk around the old town, you're going to see a church that you don't even realize. If you blink, you'll miss it. Yeah. But you're walking around. This church is the parish of the Most Holy Name of Jesus. The Polish name is very, very difficult.
We'll put it on the screen.
We'll put it on the screen.
We'll butcher it.
There's no way we'll be able to pronounce it. But anyway, this church was gorgeous. We didn't realize that. We're like, oh, let's go in.
We stepped in and we were really blown away. We're gonna go ahead and put some pictures up, but it was really, really pretty. And like she said, you blink, you miss it. Definitely, any opportunity you get, if there's a church, just peek in there. As long as there's not a service, step in, because this was one that really surprised us.
One of the things that is very interesting too in this area where the church is, if you come outside and you walk along the building still has a bunch of holes from bullets and shelling that happened during the war. So it's so cool to be there and see this stuff that, this historical places that, to be there in the middle of it is just really, really cool.
Yeah. And right next door to this church, there's a major university, the University of Wrocław. And what's interesting about this is this university's actually produced numerous Nobel Prize winners.
Right. Yeah. And it's a beautiful university. The building is gorgeous. Yeah. There is an area that apparently you can go inside. We didn't get to do this. It was not available during our visit. But there's an area that also a beautiful hall that you can see inside the university. Yeah. So if you're able to go inside, if you can, apparently it's very gorgeous. But the building outside is also very beautiful, and of course look out for the gnomes in the area. Yeah. There's always one around.
Yeah. When we were there was, I think that might have been one of the reasons it wasn't available. There were graduations going on, so the students were taking photos in front of the university with their cap and gown, and it was really cool to see too.
Yeah. Another thing not to miss here is to go to Cathedral Island. You just cross one of the bridges and it'll take you there. But Cathedral Island, apparently there are multiple churches in this island. Of course, the one church that you just can't miss because it's just so big and it's just, you can't miss it, is the St. John the Baptist Cathedral. Yeah. What a beautiful church, beautiful building. Apparently, this building was severely damaged during the war. Yeah,
it's an older building. It's a 13th century building, but it was severely damaged during the war. And it was rebuilt afterwards. But if you look at the right-hand tower, about midway up, you can see an unexploded shell that's sticking in the tower. And they left it there. And it's really interesting and bizarre to see something like that. Yeah.
And of course, one thing not to miss here, it doesn't happen in many other cities. Apparently there's only like one or two other cities that does this.
Several other cities in Europe.
But you have to go during sunset or sunrise and catch the lamplighter.
Yeah. Okay. The island has a number of gas lamps. I don't know the exact number, but there's a gentleman that comes in a long-tailed suit and a top hat, and he goes around and he lights the gas lamps at dusk, and he puts them out at dawn. And he's actually responsible for maintaining these lamps and keeping them in good working order and in good condition as well. But it's really, really neat and unique to see this. It only occurs on the Cathedral Island portion in this area, but it's such a neat experience to go and see and watch him do this. And it's all done in silence, and the people there watching are silent and filming as well, but they follow, you follow him around and you watch him light the lamps. It's just a really magical, unique experience.
And of course, once he's done and you walk around the city with just starting to get dark with the lamps lit up, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
Cool. It's so cool.
It's something so cool to see.
It is.
You do not miss this in Wrocław. If there's one thing you do, come and watch the lamplighter, like the lamps.
Definitely. Another neat place to visit while in Wrocław is the market hall. Now this is the food hall where the fruit and vegetable vendors are. And there are also some coffee shops and restaurants and cafes inside. And it's a really beautiful brick building on the outside. But interestingly enough, it's a elliptical concrete structure inside. And this building was actually the inspiration for Centennial Hall, which sits east of Wrocław, or on the eastern skirts of Wrocław, which we'll talk about next.
Yes, Centennial Hall. You do have to leave the city a little bit, whether you take public transportation or walk a long ways. But very impressive, huge building. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is made of reinforced concrete. Yeah. And at the time of its construction, it was the first of its kind, and it was the largest reinforced building. Yeah. Very, very cool. Of course, look around, there's a hidden gnome in this area as well.
There's probably gnomes that we missed too, but and right in front of Centennial Hall, there's a giant steel spire, and this spire, Iglica it's called, was put up right after the war, and this was to commemorate or to celebrate regained territories from Germany, and it was placed right in front of Centennial Hall. So it's a neat spire you can't miss as you walk up to Centennial Hall. It's just this giant spire you'll see.
And another thing too, there's like a little green area, almost like a park, surrounding this area. Yeah. So you can sit there and just relax and people watch, and it's actually really neat.
Yeah, it is.
Another thing that you can explore in the city is to go out to see the colorful backyards. This area is just an area with different apartment buildings, and if you go out, if you get into that area, you see the backyard of the building.
Yeah, it's off of Ruska Street, and it's kind of it's easy to miss the entrance. We had to look for it. We looked around for it, but we kind of felt a little weird. We went to the back of these apartment buildings. We felt a little bit like we were intruding on people's space. But there are street art and murals throughout the backyards of these buildings. And I think the locals are probably used to it. At the time when we went, we were the only ones there. So we took our time, we were respectful and stuff, but we went through and took our photos and looked at the murals, and it was neat to see.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Just be mindful if you do go to this area. Locals live here, and the murals are on the side of their houses. So keep that in mind. Sometimes there's a window and things like that, and people doing their things inside their homes. Yeah. So be mindful of that. But beautiful art, just interesting to walk around.
Interesting to see. The next thing on our list of sites for Wrocław that we went to is called the Neon Side Gallery. And what it is, it's a courtyard area with dozens of old neon signs from buildings, and these neon signs, they're owned by a foundation, a preservation foundation. And basically, when older buildings were being bought up that had these neon signs on them, it was a way, buying these signs is a way to preserve the history of Wrocław so that these signs wouldn't get destroyed.
The area is really beautiful. This is something you definitely want to do at night so that you can get the views of the signs all lit up. But it was a little disappointing because a lot of the signs were burnt out.
Yeah, there were some letters and stuff that were burnt out. Now, the pictures that we did see online, the Instagram pictures and stuff, they were all lit up, but there were some bulbs that were burnt out, and I'm sure they'll get some lights that were burnt out. I'm sure they'll be repaired, but
we're thinking that they will do that. But when we were there, there was a lot of burnt out lights. Yeah. Regardless, though, it is still cool to see, and there's lots of bars that line up the alleyway where you walk into.
The little courtyard area. Yeah. There's multiple bars around it, so if you wanted to sit there and hang out and have a drink in the light of the neon signs, it would be kind of a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. So I'm thinking hopefully they'll get the lights, all the lights working, but it's still cool to go and sit down and have a drink.
Just something very unique to do.
Yeah, and of course the food. Yeah. Who doesn't love the food? So a lot of variety here. We ended up going to a French bistro
like
restaurant,
a little French cafe.
And we had that for breakfast. I think we went there twice. We really enjoyed it. And there is a local Wrocław cuisine specific to the area restaurant that we went for lunch, and that was such a delicious meal.
Yeah, it was unbelievably good. Yeah, I believe you had some sort of stew, and we had potato pancakes, and then for dessert they had something really unique. They had pierogi, but chocolate pierogi.
Yes.
So and it's something the cuisine that we had there is very unique to Wrocław.
Yes.
So it was a great restaurant. Yeah. We enjoyed it.
And those chocolate pierogis were amazing.
They really were.
So yummy.
Yeah.
And we also went to some cafes, which we love our coffee. Yeah. And one of the cafes that we're gonna put it in the description, but it was a little hidden cafe. You would never know it's even there, with a beautiful courtyard on the outside. Really awesome, just nice to sit there and enjoy your coffee.
Really
Very
was.
beautiful place.
It really was. And there's variety there too. You know, we ate Thai food one night and it was great. We had delicious Thai food while we were there. So it's a, you know, it's a large enough city where you have a good variety of food and drink, and anything you want, you can get.
Yeah,
Great.
it was great.
Yeah. We absolutely loved our time at Wrocław. It's just a beautiful city and just another example of the beauty of Poland. People, the city, the culture, the history. It's just amazing. We can't wait to discover more of Poland. We would love to spend more time. It was a short trip, only 5 days that we spent in Wrocław, but we'd love to come back and spend more time there. Just a beautiful, beautiful city.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely a city that you should visit if you're able to while you're visiting Poland.
It's
because
so charming.
so charming.
Yeah.
The gnomes are just so fun to
Yeah.
walk around and spot them, and you get so excited when you do.
Mm-hmm.
The rivers and the bridges. I mean, we love European cities with their rivers. Love to walk along the river. It's just a beautiful city.
It is. It's so pretty to walk around and just stroll across the bridges and go over onto Cathedral Island.
Right, and not to mention the history here. I mean, really, all around awesome place to visit.
It really is.
Yeah. If you enjoyed our video, please like and subscribe to our channel.
And slow travel with us.
Bye.